How is it going, everyone? I'm talking about WWE NXT TakeOver Toronto 2019 review. Of course, NXT TakeOver Toronto took place live on the WWE Network yesterday. I was not able to watch the show live yesterday, which is why this review is later than I usually make them. But overall, I gotta say, coming out of NXT TakeOver Toronto 2019, I gotta say it was a great show. You know, I wouldn't put this as one of the top TakeOver specials to ever happen, but I definitely thought it was a great, solid show nonetheless. Yeah, you had some great matches, but you know, nothing more than just a great show, really. You know, nothing really too memorable, but it's definitely an enjoyable show, and you know, SummerSlam definitely had fun trying to top it as usual. So NXT TakeOver Toronto 2019, great show, but like I said, just wasn't a top tier level NXT TakeOver we've gotten in the last like year or two. So, you know, great show, just not spectacular. Of course, the first thing we had to open the show was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits defending against Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly of Undisputed Era. This match preceded my expectations. You know, Street Profits, I've always liked them. I thought they were charismatic, but the last two takeovers, their performances have been phenomenal, and they've really shown that they deserve to be tag team champions. And I thought they had a great showing here as well. You know, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were very dominant over Angelo Dawkins. Montez Ford had a beautiful hot tag, which this guy, without a doubt, is one of, if not the most charismatic guy in the company. He is so charismatic, and he's very enjoyable to watch as well. He got a hot tag. I teased the People's Elbow, which got, you know, broken up by Kyle O'Reilly, but ended up hitting a rock bottom on Bobby Fish at one point, which was absolutely beautiful. Angelo Dawkins back in the ring. He kind of, you know, he had a good showing as well. Obviously, out of the two, Montez Ford is more impressive, but Angelo Dawkins definitely held his own. Fish and O'Reilly did a great, were great as usual. You know, even though I do prefer Roddy and Kyle's tag team, definitely Red Dragon's still a great team nonetheless. Some beautiful spots toward the end, especially with Kyle O'Reilly hitting a knee drop off the top rope onto Montez Ford's Achilles, and locked in an Achilles lock. And as he was, you know, inching towards the rope, Bobby Fish came out of nowhere with an elbow drop on Montez Ford to prevent him from grabbing the rope, which I thought was great, and that led to, you know, Angelo Dawkins pretty much power slamming Bobby Fish on Kyle O'Reilly to break that up. And then Angelo Dawkins just went absolutely ape shit on both Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, just hitting beautiful, you know, shoulder blocks and just absolutely launching Bobby Fish in an exploder. And, you know, he ended up trying to go for a spear on Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly nailed him in the face with a running knee, put him in a guillotine, but then Montez Ford off the top rope hit a blockbuster on Kyle O'Reilly while he was in the guillotine, while he was putting Angelo Dawkins in the guillotine. Absolutely beautiful spot. O'Reilly got sent to the outside. Montez Ford hit a suicide dive on the outside, threw both Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish back in the ring. Dawkins hit a spear onto Kyle O'Reilly, then a spear onto Bobby Fish. Frog splash from Montez Ford for the 1-2-3. Street Profits retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. Like I said, great opener. It was very hot. You know, there's some slow spots, but everyone was able to get their stuff in, and everyone looked great. So definitely was a fantastic way to open the show. From there, I'm going to Candice LeRae taking on Io Shirai. Fantastic match here. These two definitely went out there impressed, told a great story. You know, Io's character, her heel turn, has been fantastic, and Candice playing the babyface role, you know, kind of similar to Johnny Gargano's. She played it excellently here as well, you know, right from the get-go, attacking Io, the referee breaking them up, throwing the bell. A lot of great stuff in this match, the way, you know, it was formatted and just the way it was paced. I thought both women looked absolutely fantastic. One spot I absolutely loved was Candice LeRae hitting a reverse Rana, but following up with a pin. You know, how the reverse Rana is usually no one ever lands it and pins him in that way, but Candice did it to Io, and I thought it came off excellently. Io hit a suplex onto the announce table very early on in the match as well, when she tried to attempt a sunset power bomb off the apron, which did not succeed, so that led her to hitting the suplex on the announce table. She hit a 619, the back and neck of Candice LeRae, which worked greatly because, you know, Candice's neck issue that's played in story as well. So I thought that was great, and these women just went out there and tore the house down. I was absolutely loving every second of it. And then of course Io Shirai, just the mean streak she had. You know, she hit a beautiful moonsault on Candice. Candice kicked out of it, which, you know, Io was just losing her mind, just not knowing how Candice kept going. And this was an excellent match. Definitely go out of her way to see it. Io wins by submitting. Well, she didn't submit. Candice passed out, but she locked her into a chokehold, and Candice passed out. And I thought it was an excellent match. It was, like I said, both women looked tremendously, and I definitely want to see more. I definitely want to see this feud be transitioned into a women's title feud. I think these two could definitely have a rematch WrestleMania weekend next year if one of them are champion, and I think it definitely could be, you know, match of the weekend as well. So yeah, really loved that match. Had a lot of fun with it. From there, we're supposed to go to the triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship, but that was interrupted by Matt Riddle coming out, challenged Killian Dane. Killian Dane came out. They had a huge brawl up into the stage. You know, security got involved, producers, everyone's getting elbowed. Killian Dane, you know, crossbodies Riddle. Riddle, you know, tries to choke him out, but then Dane ends up, you know, throwing both of them through a table off the stage. So that was a pretty nice brawl. Commentary was very bad for it though. They did not sell the feud at all, but I thought the brawl was fun for what it was, and definitely got Matt Riddle on the show and continued that feud. So I had no problems with it. And after that, you know, we had the glimpse of the crowd. Of course, you had the superstar sitting in the crowd was none other than Austin Theory. So obviously Austin Theory is coming to NXT at some point. I think after he loses the Evolve Championship, he'll probably make the full transition to NXT. But Austin Theory, I haven't seen much of him. The only thing I've really seen of him really was like from years ago when I went to WrestleMania in Orlando at the Evolve show. So besides that, I haven't really seen much of Austin Theory, but the dude has a look. You know, obviously he has a skill to some degree because he's doing very good for himself in Independence, more so Evolve. But I haven't really seen anything much of him besides that, so I can't really get too excited. But Austin Theory in NXT, you know, I think everyone saw it coming at some point, so it just made sense. And then again, we lead into the triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Of course, Velveteen Dream defending against Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. This was a great triple threat match. I feel like everyone, you know, got their stuff in. My only complaint about it, and it's not trashing on him at all, because, you know, if you've seen my past reviews, I've openly admitted that I'm not a huge fan of Velveteen Dream. I like him, but I don't think he's nearly as great as everyone makes him out to be. I feel like, you know, he was kind of slowing this match down. I feel like this match could have been a lot better, but Velveteen Dream was just kind of keeping it down. You know, he was missing some spots. He was not timing things right. So I know he's still young. You know, he might try to act like he's a 10-year veteran, but you definitely tell he's still green in a lot of ways, and it definitely showed in this match, especially compared to guys like Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. But yeah, everyone got their stuff in. Everyone was involved at one point. Not at one point, almost the entire match. You know, I hate triple threats where it's like one-on-one, then a guy goes out and another guy comes back in. They brawl for a little bit. All three competitors were in the ring for the majority of it. You had some great sequences, like, you know, Velveteen Dream escaping the bitter end, and as he's like rolling back, Roderick Strong pulls him into the post where to, you know, crush his nuts. So I thought that was great. Roderick Strong, absolute beast, beats the shit out of Velveteen Dream and Pete Dunne on the outside. Back in the ring, he had a nice where he does the elbow smash into the ropes. He kept doing it back-to-back to both of them, which I thought played greatly. Excuse me. The one spot that could have been awesome but was ruined because, no offense, Velveteen Dream, was when, you know, Pete Dunne was going for an arm drag at the top rope, but Roddy caught him into a angle slam. But what was supposed to happen was, you know, as he's getting angle slammed, he arm dragged Velveteen Dream, but I don't know what happened. Velveteen Dream didn't go, or they let go, or something happened. Pete Dunne got, you know, angle slammed, and Velveteen Dream just did like a front flip off the top, which came off very, very badly. But Velveteen Dream got a nice spot as well, where Roddy had Pete Dunne in the corner, or Pete Dunne had Roddy in the corner, an armbar, and then Velveteen Dream hit an elbow drop to break that up, and then Roderick Strong had both men in the stronghold at one point as well. Just a really good thrown together triple threat. It could have been better, like I said. You know, I kind of felt like Velveteen Dream was kind of holding the potential back of this match fully, but it's still a great triple threat nonetheless. Love the finish as well with Roddy, you know, hitting the End of Heartache onto Pete Dunne, but as he's going for the pin, you know, Velveteen Dream hits the elbow, the Purple Rainmaker off the top rope, pins Pete Dunne, 1, 2, 3, retains the NXT North American Championship. Really felt like Roderick Strong should have won this match, won the championship, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. It was still a great match nonetheless. From there, I'm going to go to the NXT Women's Championship match, Shayna Baszler defending against Mia Yim. There's nothing to say about this match at all. This is by far the worst match, and honestly, this is probably the worst NXT Women's title match I've seen, if not in recent memory. Very, very weird about this show. We had the best women's match we've seen in years, and then we had the worst NXT women's title match we've seen in years. Funny how that played out. Maybe the roles should have been reversed in terms of the what should have been the title match. But yeah, this was a very just boring match. There really wasn't much to it. The crowd didn't care for it. The only really cool spot that really happened was Mia Yim hitting a code blue off the top rope. But besides that, there really wasn't much to the match. Shayna Baszler retains the championship via a submission. So it was what it was. Shayna Baszler is not really cutting it for me as champion anymore. I enjoyed her reign at first, but now it's just getting to the point where it's just repetitive and boring, and hopefully they go with a triple threat with Io, Candice, and Shayna at the next TakeOver. I feel like that's the most logical thing. If not, Dakota Kai, whenever she comes back, I guess she can face Shayna Baszler, considering their history as well. But yeah, very poor title defense, and I'm really over the whole Shayna Baszler's champion thing. They need to move on at this point, honestly. So that was that. And of course, go to the main event, which was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. Of course, this 2 out of 3 falls match wasn't a regular one. It was pretty much a 3 stages of hell match where each fall had a different stipulation. The first fall was just a regular wrestling match. The second fall was a street fight, and third fall, if necessary, was some kind of barbed wire cage match where it basically was the Ambrose Asylum. It just had weapons scattered all over, attached to it. There was barbed wire on the top, and you know, I love it. I love the whole cage concept, and my favorite thing about that stipulation for that match was there was no escape. I cannot stress how much I hate steel cage matches just because a stipulation of matches, the way to win is by escaping. The point of a cage is to keep them in the ring. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, nonetheless, this was a great main event. Great, fantastic blow-off to the feud as well. I wouldn't say I enjoyed this match more than the other two. I feel like the other two matches were better than this one, but this was a war. This was definitely a great blow-off to these two. The final fall was absolutely crazy as well. Absolutely loved the third and final fall of this match, but Gargano and Cole, you know, could be arguably the best feud in NXT history. Obviously, I think Gargano and Ciampa is the only thing that really challenges that at this point. But yeah, these two just had a great blow-off. The first fall went about 20 minutes. It was actually a very long first fall, and they did some great wrestling. You know, they had a lot of callbacks to their first two matches as well, which I really enjoyed. These two really were able to outsmart each other. Well, not really outsmart each other, but they knew each other so well. They were able to counter, and they were able to like sense what they were going to do. Like when Cole was set up for the Panama Sunrise, you know, Gargano would, you know, escape out of it, or he'd set up his own Panama Sunrise. So the first fall was great. Like I said, it was great wrestling nonetheless. And then the first fall was decided by disqualification. Cole brought a steel chair in the ring. The referee, you know, was able to get him down, so he throws the chair out. Referee tries to get it out. Cole low blows, or kicks Gargano nuts, I should say. Pins him, but Gargano kicks out. Cole's arguing with the referee. As he's arguing, Gargano hits a super kick, followed by whacking Cole with the steel chair to cause a disqualification. So Adam Cole wins the very first fall via disqualification, which leads into the second fall where Gargano just beats the shit out of Cole with the steel chair. They brawl all around the ring, into the crowd. They do a barricade spot, which, hey, it wasn't your typical spear through the barricade. Gargano did a crossbody onto the outside. Well, reversed. You know how they go into the barricade? It was actually through the crowd, and they went through it backwards. So I thought that was innovative to that sense that they were able to do that. And then at the end, Gargano ended up lawn darting Cole into a chair that was set up in the corner between the ropes. Lawn darts him into it, locks him to Gargano escape. Cole taps out, so Gargano wins the second fall. So now we go into the third and deciding fall, which of course was the cage match, or barbed wire steel cage, whatever they called it. I didn't pay attention if they specifically named what kind of match that was, but it was a cage match that you couldn't escape, which I liked. And there were weapons all over. There were kendo sticks, fire extinguishers, sledgehammers, ladders, tables. Pretty much any weapon you could imagine was hanging around the ring. And these two had an absolute war in that third and final fall. These two beat the shit out of each other, and I loved every single second of it. My only real complaint about it was the fact that Johnny Gargano kicked out of 2 consecutive Panama Sunrises. Listen, for me, any type of pile driver should not get kicked out of more than once. Even one time is bad enough. I don't know. To me, it's just one of those moves that should always be protective. And you know, I think Gargano kicking out 2 consecutive ones really wasn't cutting it for me. Gargano used a fire extinguisher on Cole at some point to kind of distract him to hit the Panama Sunrise of his own. So yes, Cole ended up hitting his own Panama Sunrise on Adam Cole, which is crazy. They went to war with kendo sticks by just absolutely beating the shit out of each other with it, followed by in-stereo super kicks that knocked each other both out. Just a bunch of craziness. And, you know, Gargano ended up cutting up some barbed wire to try and use on Cole, but Cole ended up getting out of it. The ladder was used. And they ended up, you know, setting up some tables. They ended up going up to the top of the cage where they were fighting over barbed wire, and they did the whole spot where they both fell at the same time through the table. Unfortunately, the tables are too close, so they ended up only going through one of the 2 tables, but it looked painful, very, very painful. And then Adam Cole, of course, drapes himself for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and Adam Cole wins the third and final fall to not only win the match, but retain the NXT Championship. What a fucking match. Very, very long match, to might add. It was about a 50-minute match. I think the first fall went 20. The second fall probably went like 7 or 8, and then the final fall probably went like 20, 25. So it was a very long match, but it didn't feel long. It definitely, you know, the match went very, very quickly. And these two, like I said, just had an all-out war, and I loved absolutely every second of it. I wouldn't put it as my favorite match as 3. I think the first match at TakeOver New York still is my favorite, and then followed by TakeOver 25 in June, and then this match. But nonetheless, it's still a phenomenal match. Absolute war, like I said, especially the third fall. I really feel like these two tried to beat the shit out of each other, and it was absolutely hectic, and I loved absolutely every second of it. So, yeah, Adam Cole wins, baby, and I couldn't be more excited about it and happy about it. And yeah, I'm just, you know, more interested to see where the future of Johnny Gargano goes, and the future of Undisputed Era as well, because I really thought for sure Undisputed Era would walk out of the show with all the championships, but they didn't for whatever reason. So really interested to see how things go. But like I said, I thought NXT TakeOver Toronto 2019 was a great show. Not a top tier level takeover by any means, but it was still a great show that I really enjoyed. SummerSlam is gonna have a fun time trying to top it. It might, who knows, doubtfully, but you know, anything can happen, I guess. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, tonight to my SummerSlam review. I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching the video.
I just want time in a tree. I need a place just for